Across now to a very, very special interaction. Donald Trump Jr. and his first son of the United States is in India. ET Now's Nayantara sat down with him for an interview, for a rapid fire round. Let's listen in.
Who is your favorite Trump?
Chloe Sophia Trump, my 3-year-old.
What's the best thing about being the president's son?
You know, it's an interesting question because there's not a simple quip about that. I mean, you know, there's obviously a lot of difficulty in the sense that there's a lot of scrutiny. There's a lot of, you know, when you're choosing a side, it's very binary, and you've seen there's no shortage of, you know, hate from one side and love from another. So as an American, I think it's been amazing to be able to see experientially. It's been incredible. You know, as a father, as a businessman, it's been very difficult because the level of scrutiny is, you know, is ridiculous. If I talk to someone who got a speeding ticket when they were 16 years old, oh my God, it's the, you know, and you know that's part of the narrative, you know, that's out there. So that's unfortunate, but it's been fascinating. And again, as an American and for the long term of our country, I think it's been amazing.
My next question was, what's the worst thing about being the president's son?
I think I covered it in the
last
one.
You did.
It's a little bit, yeah, that was a
you have to watch
answer.
what you say,
It's
basically.
both good and bad, and so you take the good and try to minimize the bad.
What does Don Jr. really think about his Secret Service detail?
You know, they're great guys. They're great guys. Now, I'm a 40-year-old man, so I'm a little set in my ways. So yeah, I'm not always probably easiest, but just just great people that work harder than most people I've seen.
Have you ever given them a scare, escaped on them?
I've threatened it a few times. I think probably in my own way I have. They just won't acknowledge it to me.
Would Don Jr. ever want to run for office? You're seeing it up close and personal.
You know, it's interesting. I have been asked the question, and you know, there is sort of an element of fascination to it. I mean, after going through it like I did, you know, at the level that we did, it's sort of hard not to be sort of fascinated by the process. That said, you know, there's also a lot of nonsense that comes along with that. So, you know, I'm still sort of active politically in that. I'm very vocal. I have a pretty solid social media following. It's very engaged. And I'm not afraid to comment because I think, you know, too many people, I think more people.
So no yes or no?
So I don't know, not at the moment, but that doesn't mean I'd preclude it forever.
Okay. Would Don Jr. ever want Ivanka to run for office?
Perfect. I think she should. I would support her fully. That way I don't have to.
If Don Jr. were not a real estate developer, what would he be?
Ooh, I have no idea. It was sort of, you know, when you're born into a sort of a family business that way, you grow up on tractors and bulldozers around construction sites. It was very natural for me. If it wasn't real estate, it would be probably something totally outside of business. You know, I don't know. I'm very outdoorsy. You know, so I sort of have two lifestyles. There's the lifestyle I live when I'm in a suit, and then there's sort of my weekend time with the family, and they're very, very different types of places. So I have no idea.
What would Don Jr.'s legacy be at age 60?
Well, hopefully my kids.
Okay.
I have 5 incredible kids, and just trying to, you know, do whatever I can to allow them to do what they want to do in life, and for them to be happy. If I can achieve that, everything else is meaningless.
It could also be a campaign. You haven't precluded the fact that you could run for office.
No, you know, it could, but I don't. You know, compared, I could be the greatest politician in the world, and compared to, you know, bringing up 5 kids and making sure that, you know, they are set and happy in life, not everything will still be meaningless, relatively speaking, to me.
This is a cheeky one. What does Don Jr. think about Oprah Winfrey?
Well, you know, listen, we've always had a very good relationship with me, my father, my family. We were on her last show, you know, which is, again, you know, some of the irony of politics, you know, and I see it with so many of the people that have come out. I say, it's funny, I have pictures with you at dinner 7 times, and all of a sudden, Trump is the worst human being alive. And, you know, that's the problem with politics. You know, people have to sort of pick a side. And if you're conservative or if you're outspoken and you say the things that actually need to be said, but, you know, you're going to offend one person in 10, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, a little bit of guts to actually do it. And I think that's what my father's success is. He didn't just do this in a conventional way and toe the line and say the things. That's what America was sick of, the establishment. Yet someone now that's actually done it in real life, who'll say what he's thinking and then actually implement it. Not just tell you what you want to hear and do nothing. I think that's kind of important. I think maybe you may be experiencing something a little similar here.
Yeah, I think politics around the world has become very personal. What is the one thing you admired the most about your father, the U.S. president?
It's work ethic.
Work ethic. If there was one thing you could change about him, what would it be?
Oh boy, this is a no-win. I wish I could spend more time with him. I wish he was less busy right now so I could spend more time with him. But any other answer would be a total disaster for me in the coming minutes on social media. So.
That's pretty much as candid as it gets. Donald Trump Jr. talking to Nayantara in that interesting rapid-fire conversation. But let's